What is going on, y'all? Gamers Goon here today as the college football season is getting ready to start this weekend on Saturday, week 0. The rest of the teams, there's only 4 games being played this Saturday, but we're going to predict them all. We're just going to make sure we got our bases covered. But the rest of the teams, their stuff starts again on Thursday and next Saturday. My Fighting Illini will be playing on Thursday. I will be at that game. Now, this is more so for future games than this game specifically, or well, this week specifically. I just want to make it known that I probably will not be predicting every single game every single week. I will be focusing on the major games, the games I think are going to be good games. And then obviously I'm going to still touch bases here with obviously the top 25 and maybe some of those bigger teams that I think are still worth talking about. I'm always going to talk about my Illini. I'm always going to talk about my Oregon Ducks. But for example, I see next week already UCF versus New Hampshire. I'll probably talk about it this week, but UCF maybe not in the future weeks. It just depends how their season's going and with if the game's really even worth talking about. To be honest with you, like I'm looking next week, Central Michigan versus Central Connecticut State. I'm not playing. I'm not gonna predict that. There's just no need. We all know who's gonna win. There's no need. But for week 0 specifically, Florida State versus Georgia Tech is obviously to me the match or the game of the day, and it is starting off our day at 11 a.m. Now, the other games, don't really care too much about, but this game right here has a lot going for it. Florida State, obviously, last year was a team that was contending for the college football playoffs. We saw what happened in the postseason in their bowl game. I think that is not something to pay attention to. Florida State did not have some of their guys that they maybe would have had in the national championship game. Or well, in the playoffs at least. But Florida State going up against Georgia Tech. Now, Georgia Tech, they're no slouches. Georgia Tech is a team that I think can hang around. They can hang around. Last year they were over 500. They finished at 7-6 last year. They're no slouches. They are a team that can compete. Now, are they a team that is going to come in and the very first game of the season knock off a top 25 team, the number 10 team in the country? Probably not. Probably not, but this is going to be a fun game. I expect it to be a close game. I expect it to be something that is going to be exciting. Now, I only have a receipt right here, but we're keeping track. We're keeping track this year. We're gonna keep a running standing going on if I get games right or not. And I'm not gonna give score predictions or anything like that. But yeah, I kind of want to just keep track and see how many. So if I get maybe 1 out of 4 games right this week, then maybe you shouldn't be listening to my predictions. But I think we'll be fine this week. Florida State versus Georgia Tech. I think it's going to be a good game. Game of the day for sure to start week 0. Game of the week. Probably going to be the game I believe they're going to have game day at. Because I do think they're starting that up this weekend and then continuing it through next week, obviously, throughout the whole season. But I do think this is their first week with it. Florida State, though, is the team I got winning that game. Should be a fun game, though, to start off our day on Saturday. Then we get to Montana State versus New Mexico. Now, this is a game that if it was maybe 2 weeks from now, we would not be talking about. But week 0, there's only 4 games. We can talk about it. New Mexico versus Montana State. Now, neither of these teams are teams that I expect to have huge seasons. Obviously, Montana State last year went 8-4 in the Big Sky. And then you go to New Mexico, who I don't believe had the same luck. Yeah, 4-8. 4-8. So these are 2 teams that had a little bit dissimilar of years. Still, you would think New Mexico probably has the talent to beat Montana State. But, you know what? It's week 1. Something weird's going to happen. I'm going to pick Montana State to win the game. So we're going to go Montana State and FSU so far. Then we get to a game that I think is going to be a little bit of a dark horse for being good. SMU versus Nevada. Both of these teams are teams that are they're okay. SMU obviously 11-3 last year, and then Nevada not the greatest. I think they only had 2 wins last year, but I don't necessarily think that highly of SMU still. SMU still wins the game if I had to guess, but I think this is going to be a game that's going to be played relatively close. It's going to be a game that SMU is going to be trying to get their bearings, and SMU will win, but I don't expect it to be a blowout by any means. And then the game I do think will be a blowout. I know it's weird to say it might be a blowout because of 5-8 Hawaii going up against Delaware State, which was 1-10, but 5-8. One of your 5 wins is coming from a team like Delaware State. Hawaii will be winning that game. There's just no way Delaware State wins, right? If Delaware State wins, I will be shocked. I would be shocked. But there you have it. I know it's a little short of a video, but it's week 0. There's not really too much to talk about just yet. FSU, Montana State is my big upset of the week, I think. I got SMU and then Hawaii getting the jobs done. So those are my 4 winners in week 0. Thank you guys for watching. You will be seeing this video probably Friday, if I had to guess. It's either going to come out Thursday or Friday. It's Tuesday when I'm recording this, but you'll probably see it about Thursday or Friday. And if you guys already haven't, I've been doing a lot of this kind of content here the last few weeks with the Premier League getting started up. I want to do this for the NFL as well, so we're going to have this kind of content coming out at the next few months. With the Premier League obviously going for the next about 9 months, and the NFL going until like February, March ish. So we'll have a lot of content coming out in the next few months. Obviously, if we are doing college football, Premier League, NFL, we're gonna have to get our schedule going. And it's going to be tricky because the Thursday night college football games. So they might have Wednesday droppings of this, but this week's there's only Saturday games, so it's going to be dropped on Friday, but Wednesday might have double uploads with the NFL obviously being on Thursday as well. And then the Premier League probably maybe Thursday or Friday. Depends because they change out on the games a little bit every week. So we'll see. But we're going to try to keep up with all 3 of those of those leagues and events going on right now, because we are going to have a blast when it comes to following this season. I'm excited for it. Let me know down below what you think is going to happen in week 0, and let me know down below who your team is, who I should be talking about each and every single week. So if you are, maybe you are a let's just throw in a random team out there. Maybe you're really passionate and a big fan of a team like Toledo. Let me know down below, and I'll try to predict them each and every single week. So let me know. If your team's just too small, I might predict them a few times. I'm not gonna probably predict them every time. There's really no sense in me saying, hey, Northwestern State is gonna come out and they're gonna have a good game against whoever. There's really no sense in that. But I will try to give you guys some flowers at points in the season. So let me know down below who you guys are fans of and who you think I should be following throughout the season. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.